What's going on, YouTube? I got a comment yesterday on a video. It said, with everything that's going on, this is the video you make. And, I know exactly what this person is referring to. And it's true, I haven't said anything about the recent killings of multiple people by the police. I don't want to be the person to, have the knee-jerk reaction. But what I will say is this. About 3 months ago, I found myself getting pulled over by the police. And I turned on a video camera. I turned my phone around. I set it in the cup holder, and I hit it to record just in case. And I actually ended up doing a little video, and I erased it because I was just like, why am I going on about this? But, that video actually sums the situation up completely. As a black man in America, I should not have to record encounters with people who are supposed to be officers of the peace just in case things go awry. And I'm not going to be the bandwagon. I don't think these cops are going out seeking these people and gunning them down. But what I do understand is that there is little to no culpability. There's no real process where we're going to find out if these people are doing something wrong. And that's actually the biggest problem, because if you look at the numbers, they kill more white people than black people. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I don't have to speak on this because it doesn't really concern me. And, but I did hear a lot of people, sending out their condolences for the officers that were killed in Dallas, while not doing the same thing for the people who essentially, or at least as the media portrays it, the people whose deaths actually caused that young man, I think it's Micah Johnson, to start firing into that crowd at that protest. So I'm really tired of this. I'm a father, right? So I have a child. I have a black son. And, it just concerns me that he's probably going to grow up in a world with this same problem where he's going to get pulled over one day and he's going to be trying to do the absolute perfect thing. But that's the problem. Why do black men have to be perfect? Why are we not allowed to have any mistakes in this society? I understand that, they're going to try to slander these people and, they had this, they stole some candy 15 years ago. It doesn't matter, okay? The reality is black people commit a disproportionate amount of crime. Therefore, they get a disproportionate amount of the unnecessary force from the police, right? That's what it is. And now, in a time where everyone has a camera in their pocket, people are now capturing these things, and we're able to see it. And this is actually the thing that really sped up the civil rights movement. When television came out and people were able to see the violence that was happening against black people, it really pushed the movement further. And we are at a point, I think, now where we're kind of at that crossroads. Are we going to actually do something about it, or are we just going to sit back and say, oh, well, that really doesn't concern me? And I guess the most alarming part of what I'm seeing regarding the response from people is that nobody's talking about that grand jury process. Nobody's talking about who's going to review these cases, because I understand that it's a very stressful job to have to deal with people you don't know what they're up to. You're just having these thoughts race through your mind. It's a very tense situation. But if you take someone's life because you're afraid, we got to have some type of real process where we evaluate what went down, because it can't always be you were acting in self-defense, you didn't know what the person. No, that can't always be the case. And the case that I really just really rocked me was that John Crawford case in Cincinnati last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, I remember where the guy was in Walmart with a BB gun that Walmart sells. And then at one point he puts his hands up and the cops are still firing. Like, when is everybody going to realize that this is not a race thing? This is a people thing. This is a police state that we live in. And until people get together and say, you know what, we got to start holding these cops responsible. I mean, it's a stressful job, but you know what? If you don't want it, don't take the job. Maybe this isn't for you. Maybe there's something else you should be doing. Because if we give you the ability to have a lethal arm and you have to use it indiscriminately because you're so afraid of the possibility that you might, get a bump or a bruise or scratch or whatever might happen to you, then you're not really putting your life on the line. You're kind of taking people's lives before you even get into a situation where you're being put in danger. My only ask out of this whole thing is I need people to decide the process has to change. You guys can continue to have the job. You can continue to go out there and patrol the streets. But when you get reckless, you have to be held accountable. We need to start having, I don't know, maybe the citizens review this. Maybe this needs to go to the FBI. It can't be the local prosecutor teams up with the local police and investigates this local crime against everybody's friend, and then next month they're at a banquet together. That has to change. It's really saddening to think that all these people keep losing their lives and nothing is happening. People want to keep their guns. Okay, fine. And we're heading to this martial law thing. Okay, whatever. Cops need to be held responsible. And until that thing changes, then none of this will ever change. I should not have to record myself being pulled over just in case. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.